Dubai, the city of luxury, opportunity, and misconceptions. Some say women here are just influencers, wives of billionaires, or living off someone else's success. But today, we're breaking that stereotype. Meet Julia, Garini, and Barbara, women who are building businesses, changing lives, and proving that Dubai is the land of opportunity, if you're ready to work for it. In this episode, we'll learn how they started their journeys in Dubai, what the business environment is like for women in the UAE, and whether any stereotypes still exist. We'll also discuss the biggest challenges women face when building a business in Dubai and share some practical advice on how to get started. My name is Anna Hayat, and on this channel, we talk about women and life in the Emirates.
My name is Julia, and I'm a mindset coach. I run a healing business in Dubai, and I use theta healing technique with my clients. It's a very simple tool that works with your subconscious blocks and helps us change our beliefs, our negative beliefs, into empowering ones. I came to Dubai in 2012, and I decided to start my journey in real estate business. At that time, the country was just coming out of the crisis, so there wasn't so many opportunities like today. The only option for me with no experience in Dubai, no experience in real estate, was to become a promoter in one of the developers in Dubai.
My name is Barbara. I'm Russian, but born and raised in Vienna in Austria. And I'm an event planner living in Dubai now since 3 years almost. I feel like I was born into events. Since an early age, I was always helping my family and friends with event planning. When I was 17, I had my first job as a hostess. I was helping out in events. And then with my first job, I was working at this big startup festival with like 3,000 attendees. And I think that was like the moment where I realized, okay, this is it. This is where I want to be.
My name is Darina Serpetian. I'm Armenian Jordanian, living in Dubai, UAE for the past 18 years. I'm married, I have 3 daughters. I used to have my own business as an entrepreneur for 5 years and recently started a new role, full-time working at a longevity clinic, so in the health and wellness industry.
I believe that right now, Dubai is the place to be, whether you're building a career, starting a family, or starting a business, because of the diversity of nationalities and the abundance of opportunities in this country. It was really hard at my time, beginning in 2012. It used to be much easier for people to believe that a successful woman at that time was supported by some man rather than achieving her results by herself.
Women's career in the health and wellness industry in UAE is very supported. There are many people who work in this domain, whether they are full-time workers or entrepreneurs starting their own business or having their businesses and growing them.
What I love about Dubai is that it's so diverse and there's so many different cultures. It's always learning for me. So I'm not just interested about their work ethics, but of course as an individual person, what is the background? What is it that shaped you? So it's always a very interesting journey because you really learn something new every day.
My real estate career lasted for 8 years, and I have gained excellent reputation in the market. My teams and I, we had excellent results. We did massive commissions, massive sales, and I really enjoyed the idea of developing people. At one point, I realized that my service in that field was not towards serving the clients and selling them real estate, which I did, obviously, because it's not only about training the team, it's also leading by example and doing your own sales as well. So I realized that my main focus, what I really felt happy about, is developing people. I want to help people grow not only financially and in their career, but also develop all areas of their life and find happiness in every aspect of their life. It was the quarantine time when I left my job and started from scratch. It was definitely taking the risks because everybody was so afraid of the situation that was happening. There was no understanding of how the world is going to evolve or what's going to happen next. And it was a leap of faith, but I really trusted that inner feeling that I really have to go for it and go towards the dreams that I had and doing what I love. And that's how my Aesthetic Healing business started in Dubai in COVID, March 2020.
My journey as a health and wellness coach started with personal health struggles. First of all, with one of my daughters, and then some chronic conditions that I had. And I was fortunate to understand how much food and the quality of food and also the toxins we are surrounded has this much impact on our health. So I started with the focus to help myself and my family, and then I saw the impact and wanted to share it with others. So I started with friends and family members and then wanted to support more people. So I went through the path of getting the proper credentials and diplomas and certifications so I will be able to help more people.
As you might know, UAE, specifically Dubai, is very competitive. It's very fast-paced. You always need to stay up to the newest innovations, the newest trends, so you have to keep up. And especially also in the events industry, you always have to look up what's the latest innovation or trend out there, no matter if it's a venue or the best photographer or the best caterer. So you always really have to watch out for the newest things. And this is exactly why everyone coming to Dubai now. Dubai is the new hotspot to be. And during COVID, I then took the opportunity and started my own business, Bubble Events, which I had in Austria first. I had my events there across Germany, Austria, Spain, and now in Dubai for 3 years almost.
Changing from an employee mindset to an entrepreneurial mindset was a bit tough. I realized that apart from having your skill and maybe even developing clientele for that skill, you really had to learn about entrepreneurship and business. And the mindset of being an entrepreneur is completely different, and it really takes time to adjust. Every time when something goes wrong, there were so many temptations to just drop everything and go work with the super high salary in a place where you are respected and where you have excellent reputation in the field of real estate, for instance. That's why it's so important, being an entrepreneur, to do what you truly love, what you enjoy doing, that even though it doesn't bring you money in the beginning or enough money at the time, you still keep on doing it and learning it and maybe doing mistakes and learning from your mistakes, but just to keep on going forward, because it will happen. It just needs a little bit more time for the brain, for the mind to adjust to the new ways of earning money.
So getting into the health and wellness coaching industry is generally difficult for everyone, not just for women, because it's a new field. So people still need to understand what this is about, and the coaches need to really establish their credibility. And this is generally more challenging for women than men because you need to be more visible. And women generally struggle with imposter syndrome and lack the confidence sometimes to put themselves forward and talk boldly about what they believe in and what value they can bring to the people or organizations and corporates. So this is a challenge women face. It is general in the industry and for women generally around the world, not specifically in UAE. But the interesting thing with regards to health and wellness coaching is that there are more female coaches than male. It's very rare to find male health coaches. They are more focused on the fitness. So I wish we would find more male coaches in this industry to focus holistically on all aspects of lifestyle, because some people may prefer to work with men, but we are lacking this at the moment. So I encourage even men to get into this field.
The biggest difference that I've noticed between UAE or Dubai and Austria is when I was working in Austria, I was so used to people reaching out to me like a year or 2 years in advance to start working on the project. While in UAE or in Dubai, it's very, very normal to receive a call today, for example, and start planning an event next week. So this is one of the biggest differences that I've realized. People really love planning in short notice. So my biggest advice is, first of all, take your time, really plan in advance, because this is really important. It's not just about the pressure for me as an event planner, it's also badly for you because, as I said, it's so competitive. So by the time you start planning, if it's too late, all the best venues, all the best photographers, all the best caterers, they will be gone. And of course, you want the best for your event. And this is also my goal for you. Working with high-profile clients means working with more sets of eyes. So for me, whenever I have a high-profile client, I make sure that I have the best team that I'm working with. So I'm really making sure that I have the best professionals on my side in order to make the event flawless.
So the next challenge that entrepreneurs face in Dubai is opening a business legally. Currently, I see a lot of challenges, and I did face that challenge too, with opening bank accounts in Dubai. So basically, you can open a license, but then if you don't have a bank account, you can't legally take the money. So that's another difficulty that I have faced, for instance, and a lot of entrepreneurs that I know face that too. In the beginning of your business journey in Dubai, you should understand and expect no support from the banks in the beginning, because when you're an employee, you have the access to credit cards and loans. As a startup entrepreneur or in the beginning of your business journey, you are not eligible for that.
UAE provides a great opportunity for women in career, whatever the modalities they like to work in. For example, there are regulations now to have female representation as board member in many companies. So this is a great start to have the women represented everywhere. There are opportunities for women to open up their own businesses and setting up business bank accounts, even as a small business. There are many licensing options to allow this. So even if you are, starting as stay-at-home mom, opening up a small business for a hobby, it was a hobby for you, and then trying to grow it. There are different licensing options available that women can utilize. And then you can grow from there. Really, there are big opportunities for career in women here, as entrepreneurs or also in the corporate world. There are definitely some stereotypes when it comes for women in any career. For example, from my personal experience and all of those years, sometimes women working are not taken seriously. They sometimes don't get the voice that they should have in terms of setting even regulations and improving the way things are processed and optimized in workplaces. But then the stereotypes are even more difficult when a woman decides to open up her own business. And usually, again, it is not taken seriously or considered as a hobby, which I personally faced. Even though I invested a lot of time in my education and credentials, people would still assume what I'm doing as a health coach is just a hobby. But of course, they saw how I grew over the years and what value I bring and the trust I established in my expertise. So it is difficult in the beginning in any career, but especially in health and wellness coaching, definitely there is still not enough awareness of the value and how much effort goes into becoming a health and wellness coach if doing the proper credentials and certifications, not a short courses and then someone calling themselves a coach.
Since I moved here, I've never had any stereotypical situations or misconceptions, and I never felt lower, as a woman. I feel like here it's all on the same level, and I really love it here. It makes me feel like I can be my real self.
I am very passionate always when having conversation with women who are interested in health and wellness coaching. But there are a few things they need to take into consideration in order to be successful. The first thing is investing in education. You need to get the proper certifications and credentials that are needed for you to become a real expert and to build your credibility. And then you need to understand all the legal requirements in order to start a business. There are many options available in UAE, whether it's a mainland license, freelance license, free zone license. So understanding the requirements for each and what are the benefits is important. So invest in legal advice for sure to establish your business. And before even going there, you need to understand where you would like to see yourself in 5 years, what kind of services you want to be providing.
I honestly think that women are by nature a bit shyer than men are, because men are always, they have this confidence to go out no matter if they're right or if they know if they're expertise or not. But I feel like women should have the confidence to step up. Don't be afraid, don't be shy. Step up for yourself, speak up. I mean, every man does it, so why not us as well?
In the 12 years that I live here, I really consider Dubai my home.
I think UAE is the safest place to be for women.
In general, living in Dubai, I just love it because it's very safe, it's very comfortable, it's so convenient.
And we are spoiled with service. We have deliveries at our doorstep at any hour of the day or night. We have safety in the malls, in the streets. You can leave your car open in the middle of the parking, not the driveway, the parking. You're just confident that you're safe and protected at all times.
There is literally a service for everything that you can even think of, starting from ordering groceries that will receive 15 minutes at your doorstep, or even calling someone to put gas in your car, literally to your doorstep as well. So yeah, I love Dubai. I cannot imagine living anywhere else.
And as a mother of 3 daughters, I feel really privileged living in UAE with its safety, because they have the freedom to go out and about, to do their cycling and walking around, even in the night, to continue their activities and exercises. I know they will be safe when they are commuting, going back and forth, whether it's for the school or activities. I know they have the opportunity to grow in whatever field they decide to be involved in.
And I have to add that, for example, walking alone at night in Dubai is like the safest thing as well, which you cannot imagine doing anywhere else, like Europe, for example.
It is amazing that today there's so many coaches and so many business women who create multiple females communities that support women, where you can find your friends, where you can find your team, and where you can learn and grow.
While you know that marketing is a big strategy for getting your clients, even bigger thing is networking. Networking. Honestly, most of the clients that I've met and worked with so far were through networking. I know it takes a lot of time. Sometimes I need to force myself as well, but I really try to do it at least once or twice a month.
Encourage you fully to be part of networks. Women entrepreneur networks are available in the UAE, and this will help you stay motivated to keep growing, because it can be a lonely journey to be an entrepreneur. So being part of these communities help you with inspiration, motivation, and then understanding the tips and practices to develop business properly.
Okay, how do I balance my work-life balance? It's a very tough question. I mean, everyone knows that in winter, it's the high peak season. So for me, especially as an event planner, I have to be okay with working 7 days a week, working nights and mornings. I mean, I still try to make sure that I at least get my workouts wherever I can in the mornings. But whenever I feel stressed during this winter times, I always remember that summer is coming. And of course, in summer, it's a bit of a low season, as most of you know, because it's too hot, so it's a bit calmer.
Dubai is a very fast-paced city, and having the work-life balance can be tricky for sure, especially when you have a family and children to take care of. Personally, for me, this is very important. I am very intentional in how I prioritize my family time, my me time, my wellness time, and what I do with my day after working hours. So I have established boundaries, which I advise everyone: establish boundaries of your working time, and then have some kind of routines that are always set, how you spend your time with your family. For example, after dinner, we go out walking as a family. In the weekends, we have, family time playing board games. We go out to the beach. So we do certain activities at certain times, and these are fixed. My daughters expect it. I know I will not compromise with this time to do work. Of course, sometimes you have to do extra work that is needed, but again, priority is important so you can manage your time effectively. So I would say, first of all, you need to be intentional that you want to have this harmony between life and work. I don't call it balance because it cannot be equal all the time. Sometimes work takes precedence, sometimes family, but there is harmony and you don't feel you are neglecting any part of it, and you don't feel guilty. You're working too much or too little, spending more time or little time with family. There is harmony because it is intentional and you put the structure and the boundaries around it.
So here are some advice that I would give to young women who are just starting their career in Dubai specifically. It doesn't matter which industry. First of all, do a lot of internships. It doesn't matter if it's paid or not. In the end, everything will pay off. It's all practice, practice, practice. That's number one. Number two, network. You can already start going to networking events from the beginning of your career path. It's also very helpful. As I mentioned before, networking is everything. And the third one is try to hang out with friends or groups. Try to find a group that inspires you to be better and work for something more so you can achieve and be inspired every day.
There's a misconception that whatever education you get or whatever degree you get, you should follow that for the rest of your life because it's something that you've learned. But now we know that the mind is moldable, that we learn fast, basically. We are learnable at any age. We can start doing what we love at any point of our lives. I've switched my careers 3 times, and for the first 20 years, I was a professional musician, and then I switched my career to real estate, and then I switched my career to mindset coach. So I believe, and this is my experience, that any skill is learnable when you want to learn something. But also, it is so much important to work with your mind because any success requires mindset and skill set. So any skill can be learnable, and the mindset has also the opportunity to constantly improve. So I do invest heavily into mentorship, both mindset and skill set. I constantly develop myself, not only because I work with people, not only because I am a teacher, but also because I am so interested in what I do and I want to learn more and more in my field because I love it. So my main point here is, if you want to go forward towards any business, it is so much important that you enjoy what you do, that you love what you do, and that you're genuinely interested in growing in that field.